All fishermen in Kwale County are suffering from the effects of the coronavirus pandemic as the disease continues to take a toll on the marine and fisheries sector. Our coast reporter Kevin Mutai is also joining us live from Gazi with the details. Kevin?
Well, that is indeed very true, Zainab. And according to data from Gazi Beach Management Unit here, in March 2019, they managed to get 30,443 kilograms of fish, but according to the statistics, this year's catch was recorded at 12,588. You can see that is quite a huge margin of the catch that they've been, and that is the situation that they've been going through since the outbreak of the pandemic. We got here at around 10 o'clock this morning, and we saw the first batch of the fishermen whom they left and ventured into the sea at around 5 o'clock this morning, but they came back without anything. And now they're expecting at least that there's another second batch dip in the sea. They're hoping that they will be able to come back with some catch, but the impact of Covid-19 is really, they are saying they've really suffered from the effects of the coronavirus disease. This is according, due to the restrictions that were put in place by the government so as to stem the further spread of the pandemic. But let me just quickly engage the director at the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, James Njiru. According to your assessment, how is the impact of Covid-19 in the marine and fisheries sector?
Kevin, the impact is quite there. The number of hours the fishermen are supposed to be going to the lake, they reduced drastically. Usually they would go for 12 or so hours, but when the curfew was imposed, they would go for 5 hours. So the quantity of the fish which has come or which is coming back is quite reduced, as you have just said. In terms of also trade, the amount of fish to trade has also reduced drastically, and like now the tourism is at its low ebb, and they have nowhere to sell the fish. So those who had shops, actually most of them are closed because of the cost of doing business in terms of cooler systems and the rest. So business is quite low in terms of fisheries. Also because of the imposition of restriction of movement, like from Mombasa to Kwale and Kwale to Kilifi, and of course from Kwale and to Nairobi, where they sell the grade 1 fish, they are not able to do that. So even if they get the fish, they have nowhere to take the fish, and the fish which is there of high quality is going at a very low quality. So again, it has also demoralized the fishermen in terms of what they are catching. So quantities are low, trade is bad.
Are there any plans to save this industry?
Yes, the government has put a lot of strategy which are long term. I would say long term. Like yesterday, we had the CS agriculture year, where we are studying. You can see there's a structure which is coming up in terms of diversifying, not only relying on the fishery. Like the structure which is across here is a seaweed. We have seaweed farming here. We have seaweed farming in Kibuyuni. The government is also putting a lot of infrastructure in Shimoni in terms of mariculture, whereby we are building a state-of-the-art mariculture center to try and bring seedlings, because here they only depend on wild seedlings. And the government has also got a project called the World Bank. It's a World Bank project of 10 billion Kenya shillings, which has been ascertained 2 weeks ago. And its main focus is on the vulnerable fishing communities along the coast, the 5 counties of the coast, and they're going to benefit immensely using this project to try and uplift their standards.
Well, Zainab, remember the marine sector is equally important when it comes to its contribution to the country's economy, and of course since the beginning of the pandemic, March, we've seen also some of the vessels cancelling their calls to the port of Mombasa, but right now we understand that the business is slowly crawling back. But of course also with this particular concern here, the government is putting in place measures through its agencies concerned with the marine and fisheries to ensure that at least the fishermen in these communities living along the coastline and of course from other parts of the country get to be informed and given strategies on how to fight and survive this pandemic. Back to you, Zainab.
I thank you, Kevin Mutai, there from Mombasa County.